To the younger and much more budget-conscious generation, Huawei's Nova series has been a staple option. In our previous Nova 12 review, a lot of people are still commenting that they're still using the Nova 5T. And I don't blame them. That phone is still very capable even until today. And personally, I think that phone is just way ahead of its time for its price. But now, I think it's finally time to say that a new Nova series is here, and this also brings plenty of never before seen features in a smartphone at this price, or even in any smartphone. This is the Huawei Nova 13 Pro, and this takes selfies to a whole new level. This has a dual 60 megapixel front camera with an ultra wide, normal wide, and a telephoto. Plus, with this unique AI feature, you can now change your face and choose your best facial expression. Let's start this review by talking about the front camera, or cameras in this case. The Nova 13 Pro has two camera sensors up front. A shared sensor for the main and ultra-wide, and one for the 2x telephoto. It's a really wide 0.7x ultra-wide that crops in at 0.8x and 1x for the normal shot. And since it's using a 60 megapixel sensor, there's a lot of image information in the shots that even when you crop in at 1x, there's really no noticeable degradation of the image. In fact, having this shared sensor means the consistency of the shots between these photos are going to look the same. And yeah, as you may have guessed, it's probably the nicest selfie camera that you can get in any mid-range smartphone. There's a ton of detail captured, and the image-enhancing AI makes faces always look its best even though we aren't at that time. But do I think it's flagship level? Probably not, but it's very close. And the only thing that I can complain about is the very slight over-sharpening, which I'm not really too worried about because the Huawei Pura 70 Pro also had that when it first came out, but through updates, I think that phone now has one of the best selfie cameras in any smartphone. Now, one of the biggest features to come to this phone is the dual front camera, which adds telephoto capabilities on its front. You might be wondering, why would you want telephoto on a selfie camera? Well, if you're a beauty influencer, then this makes a lot of sense. You can take close-up photos of your facial features or your accessories. But a lot of us aren't beauty influencers. So in a more practical use case, a dedicated telephoto camera can come in handy if you want to take different styles of photos to add some variety when you're posting on social media. In just one place, you can take an ultra-wide, wide, and a close-up. Plus, with a more zoomed-in lens, you can now achieve a more flattering self-portrait with similar focal characteristics of an actual camera taken by professional photographers. Since, if you do not know yet, most professional photographers prefer to use more zoomed-in lenses for their work. This is to achieve a more flattering face of their subject. The telephoto of the Nova 13 Pro may not be the highest resolution, especially if you compare it with the 60 megapixel wide camera, but I think we can all agree that it's a very different look. With a telephoto, things at the back become larger. This helps in making the subject even more isolated, and it helps you fake a shot that looks like it was taken by another person even though you're just alone. As mentioned earlier, a cool party trick on the Nova 13 Pro is the best expression feature. With this, you can choose the best expression of your face in your photos. This is for the times that when we take group selfies and the other person didn't quite like their face, you can now change that. So when you happen to run into your favorite celebrity and you take that selfie and you happen to not like your face, the Nova 13 Pro has the answer. It's a bit creepy that you can change your face, but I think it's nice to have whenever you need it. Oh, and it works for selfies and for the rear cameras as well. Speaking of the rear cameras, the Nova 13 Pro also has a very capable set at the back. 50 megapixel main, 12 megapixel telephoto, and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide. The main and telephoto now comes with OIS, which greatly helps when zooming in. Here are some shots that I took during the New Year countdown at BGC. This phone now also comes with a physical adjustable aperture. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but from what I can remember, the physical adjustable aperture is a flagship-only feature from Huawei, or I guess any other brand. So I think it's the first time that we are seeing a mid-range with a physical adjustable aperture. With this phone can now capture that true blurred background look. I even compared this with my pocket camera with a 1-inch sensor, and the shots look almost identical. You don't really need to manually adjust anything if you prefer. You can just set it to any photo mode and it will automatically set everything for you. For portraits though, from what I can tell, it uses a combination of the information it gets from the physical aperture and enhances it with its digital counterpart. And I think it's okay. A lot of people might find this appealing. Now, moving on to its design, the Nova 13 Pro comes with this new plug design, which I may say is pretty unique and eye-catching. I really like this camera module. It has Nova written around it. It's minimal yet very classy. It's that attention to these tiny details that can really affect how you feel about a device. There's a very subtle ridged texture that feels smooth, and the build quality feels assuring, with a mixture of metal around its frame. And the screen is also really nice. This is a 6.76-inch 120Hz OLED panel, and aside from being sharp and vibrant, what I really took notice of is the responsiveness. The screen makes navigating the phone feel very fast. With regards to its performance, the Nova 13 Pro performs just as you'd expect a mid-range phone would. In my opinion, this actually feels very similar to the Pura 70 series, which is their flagship. It runs EMUI 14, so Google Apps need a third-party solution like Gbox to run. But overall, the experience is smooth and seamless. It's snappy loading apps, quick when multitasking, and games like Call of Duty Mobile runs on its highest graphics settings at a stable 60 FPS. Battery life is also pretty decent, nothing too extreme, just enough to last an entire day with some juice left at night. But what's really nice is this now has 100 watts fast charging, which also used to be a flagship only feature from Huawei. So it's nice that we are also now getting this on a Nova smartphone. As of making this video, I do not know the official price of this yet, but I am really liking the direction that Huawei is going into with the Nova 13 Pro. I just feel like they're now going back to its roots, the roots of the Nova series, of being a trendsetter in its class. Now with more identity with its design and camera features that can only be found in this series as of now. So for those looking for a great selfie camera and a very capable set of rear cameras, then you're not going to be disappointed with the Huawei Nova 13 Pro. And for everything else, I think this is also very capable. I would even dare say that the experience feels comparable to the Pura series. I think it's great, and it's also a great start of 2025 for Huawei. Anyway, these are my thoughts on the Huawei Nova 13 Pro. Guys, let me know what you think. Did you like this phone? Do you think they should improve on some stuff? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Once again, this has been Andre from Tech Local. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video.